Howdy. I was just watching an old clip from Now Spinning magazine, Phil, out of the UK, and it just popped up, and he showed this Hawkwind Warrior on the Edge of Time. It's a great album. I really like Hawkwind. This hasn't got the fold out, unfortunately. It's the Australian issue, pressing. Um, Terrific album. What he was saying is that the original's fine to play on an automatic return player, but there was a reissue that came out that somehow in the cutting, if you have an automatic player during the track Kings of Speed, last track on side 2, it just lifts off. How bad is that? Can you imagine spending the sort of money you pay for these things now and having that happen to you? And then it lifts every time and you'll never hear it properly. So what I thought, that gave me an idea. I thought, I've got a few albums here that I really like, but I hardly ever play them because they've got these vocal monologues going on throughout the record, and sometimes I can put up with it and sometimes I can't. This one is hard work. 1975, by the way. This is a great album. Assault and Battery Part 1, The Golden Void Part 2, The Wizard Blew His Horn, Opaloka, The Demented Man, Magnu, Standing at the Edge. Ooh, I love that track. That is awesome. Spiral Galaxy 28948, Warriors, Dying Seas, and Kings of Speed. Lemmy sings on this. That's before he got kicked out of the band, Lemmy Kilminster of Motorhead. Great album, terrific stuff. But they've got Michael Moorcock, the guy that used to write their lyrics. He does these tiresome vocal, telling a story between each track, and I really find it hard to listen to this album because of that. It's just, it's sort of okay, but how many times can you listen to? You can listen to music over and over and over again, but how many times can you listen to someone saying something, and there's no difference, no change? I think that's a weakness. Sorry, I'm just taking advantage of slightly pleasant weather at the moment. It's been quite cold. Then another one came to mind. Yeah. This is a reissue from, I don't know, probably the 70s, no, 80s or 90s. Limited edition. Hang on. Sorry, I just had to have a quick smoke. Yeah. Limited edition number 2037 of 10,000. I think this was put out by Castle Music, and this was the first time it was available since the 60s. And when this was released, it's a very annoying. I'm scared of opening it because I know what's going to happen. The record is a picture disc too, I think, which is a huge cocker. No, it isn't. The record's just a normal record, but no, I can't do it. It'll break. And the original ones, it's a great, concept. Having all these pages of pictures and things in it. But the trouble is, it didn't last more than a week. It'd just fall to pieces. Now the problem with this one is, I haven't played it in about 30 years, but because the tracks I love on this, I've got on singles. I tend to play those, but it's a pretty good album. Unfortunately, they got that guy, can't think of his name at the moment. Was it Stanley somebody? Stanley Unwin. And I think it's side 2. Side 1's pretty much just the music, so I can listen to side 1 all right. I think it's got Afterglow of Your Love on it, one of the best songs they ever did, I think. Um, Beside two, they've got this story about some elf living in a castle and on the moon or some bullshit, you know. Fuck, I hate that stuff. And this guy talks this stupid gibberish stuff, you know, like the umsy wumsy doodly doody da da stuff, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, back in the 1930s or 40s or something, or 50s, that was quite amusing, but in the 60s, it's sort of like, oh Christ. So a damn fine album, ruined. Side two's ruined anyway. There's one here. There's two here that are actually okay. Now, this is it's not exactly what you would call a hipster's record, this one, but I've always secretly, it's one of my guilty pleasures. This is an extremely good sounding record. And this is a Jeff Wayne's musical version of the War of the Worlds. This is a gatefold featuring Richard Burton, Julie Covington, David Essex, Justin Hayward, Phil Lynott, or Lynott, Joe Partridge and Chris Thompson, 1978. It's a sort of one of those things, you know what I mean? It's got a booklet, which is, thank God, is still within the cover, stapled, and it hasn't fallen out. It's got stories. I think the guy out of Families on this too somewhere. No, that was another album he did, something about the Ace of Spades or something. So, yeah, I just don't want to open these because I don't want them to fall to pieces. Vinyl's just CBS. Oh, for fuck's sake. Stunning condition. I bought this second hand many decades ago, but it's in beautiful condition, except I just put a massive thumbprint on it. Yeah. Super glossy, super shiny, this one. Anyway. And now I've got cigarette ash on there. Doesn't matter. I always use an anti-static brush before I play an album. That'll get rid of that. This one, the music's terrific. The songs are great. The musicianship's fantastic. But the vocals, Richard Burton is telling the story taken from H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. Richard Burton's probably got the most beautiful voice ever in the history of mankind. It's just beautiful. It's just so good. And it's a pleasure to hear him say the same words over and over again through. I don't play this very often, but I just like to have it around. So, once every 20, 30 years I'll play it. But it actually works on this one. That's what it's all based around is the story. And this one's a bit of a funny one. This is one of my favourite bands I'm always banging on about. If you didn't grow up, I'm 75, if you didn't grow up during the 60s listening to Family and Spirit, you've missed something. And I can understand why younger people can't get into it, because it's definitely of that time. But they were both Family and Spirit, Family being a UK band with the extraordinary vocals of Roger Chapman. Spirit being on the back there's Ed Cassidy with the big hat, wide hat, and Randy California. Ed Cassidy died at the age of 90 about 10 years ago. He's the oldest drummer in the world, still playing. He was still playing in his 80s. And Randy California sadly drowned, I think, in the 90s. Off Hawaii, trying to save his son in the surf, and the son, as usual, the son survived, and he didn't. He drowned. It's terrible. This is a great. I just love this album. This is not a proper Spirit release. It's put out under the name of Spirit, but it's only got Ed Cassidy, the drummer, and Randy California, the guitarist, on this, and they play all the instruments themselves. This was shelved There was rumours about this record for years, and it was shelved, and it didn't come out until, oh God, it's on Rhino, 81. This was probably recorded in 73, 74. It's sort of a it's a story. It's a storyline. And what I love about the vinyl version, I've got it on CD as well. There's some great songs on this. It's a story about Potato Land and side one. We've got a lot to learn. Typical beautiful spirit song. Potato Land theme. Open up your heart. Another gorgeous song. Morning Light. Another one. Jesus Christ, they wrote some beautiful songs. Side two, Potato Land Prelude, Potato Land Introduction, Turn to the Right, Donut House, Fish Fry Road, Information, Collect, 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 and My Friend, the best Birds song by the Birds that wasn't by the Birds, if you know what I'm saying. It's got the best jangly guitar you'll ever hear in your life. Last track, side two, My Friend. It's beautiful. Yeah, there's what I love about this is it's a story, and the vocalizations are excellent because between each track there's little comedy introductions leading into the next, and it's very amusing. It's all done with sort of special effects, and it's a work of love actually. And I'm glad it was finally put out by Rhino. And Rhino at the time in the 80s was like they were the saviours of 60s and 70s stuff that had been shelved, and it came with a comic book. This is my original I got back in the early 80s. So, quick to put that there. Captain Copter and Commander Cassidy. The Coptermobile, which looks like a big shoe with a transistor radio stuck in it. Yeah, anyway. But, it tells a story. I better get off. See you later. Bye now.